There are hella characters people love to talk about in Fairy Tail. For example, this nigga Natsu, or my nigga Gray, or my baby Urza. Hey Urza, how you doing, girl? You can really forget that fuck nigga Jalal and get with a real nigga like me. Let's get back on track. And I'm not gonna act like they don't deserve to be talked about, but there's one character everybody forgets to talk about. And compared to the three I just named, he's better than all three of them combined. And you're probably wondering, who are you talking about? The person I'm talking about is the greatest Dragon Slayer of all time. Better than the rest of these bums calling themselves Dragon Slayers, and the true GOAT of the Fairy Tail Guild, my nigga Gajeel Red Fox. And if you don't know what's going on, let me explain it to you real quick. So I talk about 3 different fights this nigga Gajeel had, being win, lose, or draw. And by the end of the video, I tally up all the fights to see if I truly overly glaze them or not. And if you look at the record, I'm 2-0 at this shit. And I don't feel like I'ma really lose for real. So let's stop all this talking and get into the first fight. Alright, so the first fight I got for y'all is Gajeel versus Rogue. And if you watch Fairy Tail, you already know why I want to talk about this first fight. And if you don't, just get ready to figure out why I call this nigga the GOAT. Alright, so we start off after the free-for-all in the Grand Magic Games got started. And while everybody in Fairy Tail is having their own individual fights and shit, Rogue finally ran into that nigga Gajeel. And Rogue really wasn't trying to do none of that talking with Gajeel ass, because as soon as he saw him, he tried to teleport behind him and sneak him. But Gajeel already on point, because he turned around and hit his ass with a smooth uppercut to his gut, and then started laying his ass out. And after beating his ass, Gajeel started walking away disappointed as hell, because he thought Rogue was gonna give him a good fight at least. But as soon as Gajeel started walking away, Rogue started talking hella crazy to his ass, and that shit had Gajeel hot as hell.
Damn, little nigga. I at least thought you was gonna put up more of a fight, wasting my damn time. I could have been fighting another nigga, but instead I had to deal with this weak ass little nigga. Fucking bullshit.
You're saying I'm a waste of time? Says the nigga who can't even keep up with Natsu.
I know this little nigga did not just... You said I can't keep up with who?
Cause I could've sworn you wanted me to beat your ass again. You could beat my ass again all you want. It won't change the fact that I finally figured out something. It's so obvious now.
What the fuck are you talking about?
It was after Fairy Tail whooped your ass for the first time, and you switched over to them niggas. I didn't want to think this because I had too much respect for you, but it's as clear as day now.
And what is that, huh?
You're a pussy. It's undeniable now that you're a bitch.
And so after Gajeel talked some sense to Rogue ass, it looked like everything was gonna be okay, until Rogue heard somebody talking to him. And to Gajeel and everybody else, he looks like he's genuinely tweaking. And so now the voice is getting louder now, and this shit is on some D1 instigating type shit, because it's basically telling this nigga to kill Gajeel. And when this nigga Rogue finally figured out where the voice was coming from, it was already too late, because out of nowhere his shadow started possessing him. And when Gajeel went to go see what was going on, Rogue ends up smacking this nigga Gajeel away. And after that, we finally get a full look at Rogue, and this nigga is tatted up from his arms to his face, looking evil as hell, looking like he just got a fresh ass hickey from Orochimaru. And now spoilers for if you don't know what's going on, this is Rogue's future self taking over his past body. And this is when shit started getting serious, because Rogue teleported in front of Gajeel and kicked him in his shit. But Gajeel brushed that shit off and tried to hit him with an attack of his own, but Rogue turned himself into a shadow and moved around Gajeel's attack. And after he did that, he used his shadow dragon magic to put Gajeel on his ass again. And this nigga Rogue is really dogging this nigga Gajeel for real. Like, look at this. He dodges this nigga attack and then pops him in his fucking mouth and then kicked the nigga away. Like, he getting overly disrespectful. Like, look at how he got this nigga. He got my goat just dangling in the air, man. Get up! And so now after Rogue was done beating on this nigga, he just threw Gajeel into a shadow magic to try to kill him. But you know my goat not going down like that, because he had one more trick up his sleeve, and it was for him to eat Rogue's shadow. And it's basically him just stealing his magic. And you can see the look on this nigga Rogue's face. And this nigga scared as shit, because we finally get the whole look of Gajeel now. And this nigga became an Iron Shadow Dragon Slayer. And y'all can't tell me this shit don't look fire. Like, look at this. So now after he got them powering up, we get to round 2. And this is where shit really got serious, because Gajeel starts off by rushing at this nigga Rogue, but when Rogue tried to swing at him, Gajeel turned into a shadow and snuck his ass. And Rogue tried to get away by turning himself into a shadow, but Gajeel was already on his ass immediately. And now they're going back and forth fighting in a shadow form. And Rogue tried to get away from this nigga Gajeel, and when Gajeel caught up to him, you won't believe what the fuck this nigga did. This nigga proceeds to grab him out of his own shadow, and then punches him dead in his shit. Like, I gotta run this shit back again. Like, he thought his ass was getting away, but he grabs him out of his own shadow. Like, who you know else doing that shit? And now Gajeel is just absolutely frying this nigga, because after that happened, Rogue tried to run away again, but then this nigga Gajeel, for the second time now, hawks this nigga down and grabs him out of his shadow again. This is the second time he's done this now. Like, ref, come stop this nigga, he's spamming moves. So now after he proceeds to palm this nigga Rogue's head and throw him through the roof, he finally ends the fight by cooking this nigga Rogue with an Iron Shadow Dragon Roar, finally putting this nigga to rest. And that's how Gajeel won his first fight against Rogue. And with that, we can give my nigga Gajeel his first win, so give him his point. And now let's get into this next fight. Alright, so now the second fight I got for y'all is Gajeel versus Torfuser. Am I saying that shit right? Torfuser? Is it Torphaser? Man, that shit really don't even matter. Because this fight gonna show why I say this nigga Gajeel is an MVP ass nigga. So let's get started. Alright, so we start off in the middle of the Tartarus arc, where everybody is getting active against the 9 demon gates. Some are winning their fights, and some are losing, unsurprisingly. And so now we get to the good stuff, where the first and the second best Dragon Slayers are fighting against Tempestuer and Torfuser. And they really even with each other, until Tempestuer and Torfuser transform to try to take the fight more seriously. And now they're over there looking like a furry's wet dream. And you know Natsu and Gajeel not about to let them niggas one up them. And so they powered up into the combined elemental form. And after they did that, it wasn't even a fight anymore. They started absolutely washing these niggas. But it's Natsu and Gajeel, so they end up doing some bullshit. Because when they were about to end the fight, they ended up punching each other in the face, being absolute dickheads. And Torfuser obviously took advantage of that shit because he flooded the whole place. Like, look at this shit. These niggas wasn't even near the battle and they got hoed. And so after Torfuser turned Tartarus into an underwater level, we finally get the one-on-one between Gajeel and Torfuser. And the only reason it's a one-on-one is because everybody else besides Gajeel ran out of air. And it's the fact that Gajeel is the only one there that can use his magic underwater, besides somebody else, but we're not finna talk about them right now. And so the fight starts off with Gajeel trying to rush at Torfuser, and since Gajeel isn't that fast underwater, Torfuser dodged the fuck out of that shit, and then punished the fuck out of Gajeel with a powered up punch, knocking that nigga Gajeel straight on his ass. But you know that shit can't keep a real nigga down, so Gajeel got right back up and started swimming towards him. But instead of swimming towards him like the first time, he turned himself into a shadow to get behind him to catch him off guard. And it worked, cause he started getting his licks in for real. But Torfuser took that to the chin and hit Gajeel with another powered up punch, and then started beating on him over and over again. And now this nigga Torfuser is fucking this nigga Gajeel up so bad that he's running out of air. And now Gajeel's about to pass out not knowing what the fuck to do, until something really unexpected happened.
Damn it. He really beat the fuck out of me. And now I'm over here drowning. This is some bullshit. Damn, that light bright as hell. Oh shit, Lord, don't take me now. Damn it, all I need is just a little bit of air.
How did your stupid ass get into this situation?
Huh? What the fuck?
You better not fucking sell.
Oh shit, babe. She's gonna get it for getting in my damn way. Huh? Bitch ass nigga, don't touch my babe!
So as you can see, Best Girl Levy came in clutch to save that nigga Gajeel, and that nigga Torfuser almost did some fuck shit. But you know that nigga Gajeel coming in clutch to save his bae. So after laying that nigga Torfuser out, Gajeel made Levy go help the others with her magic. And while she does that, Gajeel gets back in the mix with Torfuser after he gets back up. And Gajeel is really piecing this nigga up for real, hitting this nigga with combos and mixing the fuck out of him. Like, look at this combo he hit him with. First he hit him with a Pele kick, then hits the whole spin dash to get in front of him, rocked his ass with a left hook, and then followed that up with a knee to his gut. And so now Gajeel powered up and charged at that nigga Torfuser to finally end the fight. But when he connected the punch, Gajeel ended up hurting himself. Come to find out, this nigga Torfuser had one more trick up his sleeve, because as soon as Gajeel punched him, Torfuser hardened his body up, which fucked this nigga Gajeel up badly by knocking him out his iron form. And with the water poisoning him, Torfuser got Gajeel on the ropes now. And when it looks like the fight is over with, my nigga Gajeel finally gets his backstory power boost. And just to keep this shit short, his backstory was basically this: someone really important to him died, and now he can't let himself be killed because he don't want to let her down. And with that revelation, he broke out of Torfuser's grip. And after pushing that nigga Torfuser back with his newfound power boost, Gajeel finally ends the fight by absorbing some of the carbon in the water, which turns his iron into steel, and they made a big ass steel sword to cut Torfuser down, finally ending the fight and getting a dub. And that's why I say this nigga Gajeel is an MVP ass nigga. So throw one more up on that board for my nigga. And with that, we can finally get into this last fight. Alright, so now the last fight I got for y'all is Gajeel versus Bloodman. And this last fight is crazy as hell. And I don't think y'all niggas ready for this shit yet. But fuck that, let's get into it. Alright, so we start off at the Gajeel and his squad say these saber-tooth bums were getting washed by these regular ass soldiers. And you can't tell me these niggas aren't bums. Like, look at this nigga Sting. This nigga is literally crying in Gajeel's arms right now. And you want me to take these niggas seriously? But let me get off these bums for a second, because we gotta talk about more important shit. Like how these bums are actually putting in decent work. But you know too many good things can't last. Because while they were fighting, everybody just suddenly started dropping. And while they're running, they finally see who's causing the magic. And it's that nigga Bloodman, and he on straight bullshit. But he wasn't on bullshit for too long because Gajeel came to fuck shit up. And when he got there, he pinned that nigga Bloodman up to a tree. But that shit wasn't keeping him down for too long, because Bloodman phases do his attack to choke Gajeel out. But Gajeel got on his ass immediately and started choking that nigga Bloodman out. And after that, he covered himself in iron and hit that nigga Bloodman with a nasty ass headbutt. And after that, we finally get into the fight now, because they start off the fight by clashing with each other. And while they're doing that, Bloodman starts talking shit to Gajeel, saying how he gonna do him in with his Bane particles and shit. And this nigga Gajeel doesn't really care. But he gonna have to care real soon though, because Bloodman shot his Bane particles at Gajeel, but he easily dodges out the way, and then he flips midair and tries to hit him with his own attack, but his attack easily went through Bloodman's body. And you're probably wondering how did he do that, and it's really simple. This nigga Bloodman's body is made out of Bane particles. And if I'm being honest, I feel like that nigga's cheating. But we gotta continue, because the next thing we see is Gajeel in the air hurting from Bloodman's attack. And it seemed like Bloodman trying to get everybody up out of there, because look how he got these nameless background characters. These people are in agonizing pain. But I gotta talk about one thing. I never noticed how ugly these fucking background characters are. Because look at this nigga. But I'm a One Piece fan, so I really can't talk shit about characters. But let me stop getting too distracted, because after being slammed, Gajeel ends up being buried under a bunch of skulls. But the best girl in Fairy Tail came to save him just in the nick of time. And you just can't tell me that she isn't the best. But Bloodman got tired of playing with them. And I say that because he broke his third seal and transformed into this demon-like form. And if you're asking what I mean by seals, it's basically limitations on his powers. But Gajeel is not impressed by that shit, because he called this nigga lame as hell to his face. But Bloodman wasn't trying to hear that disrespect, so he used his curse magic to make an explosion to blow those two away. And then he just started comboing this nigga Gajeel. Like, look at him, he's spamming all of his supers without no cooldown, cause he hit him with a big ass cutting attack and then dropped a big ass tsunami on this nigga. And it started looking bad for them. But the best girl, Levy, came in clutch again by using her magic to make a big hole in the ground to suck up all of the water in the area. And that gave Gajeel the opportunity to start banging out with Bloodman again, cause he tried to hit him with an Iron Dragon Roar, but Bloodman countered that shit with his own attack real quick, and then trapped Gajeel and Levy in some weird tentacle attack. And then he broke his third seal to launch this big ass death vortex at them. And it was fucking Gajeel up for a little second, but when he saw Levy was in danger, he had to dug that shit out to save his gal. And that nigga Bloodman looking worried as hell, because they were not supposed to escape that shit. But worst case scenario happened. Remember how he was getting niggas gone with his Bane particles? Yeah, he was still doing that this whole time, and Levy was taking all of that shit in. And so now she's out of commission, and now it's up to Gajeel again to finish the fight. But when he tried to rush at Bloodman with another attack, it just goes through his ass. And then he hit Gajeel ass with a counter attack, and then just started fucking him up after that. And so now Gajeel has his back against the wall, trying to find any way to touch his ass, until he gets the idea to suck in some of Bloodman's Bane particles, which means he's using his Bane particles to turn his iron into steel again. And this is where my goat finally makes his comeback, because after he powered up, he started whooping this nigga Bloodman's ass, and then finally finishes Bloodman off by vaporizing his ass. But it was too good to be true, because this nigga Bloodman had one more attack up his sleeve, and it was to drag this nigga Gajeel to hell with him, and he couldn't get himself out of it at all, and he wasn't trying to let Levy help him at all. And this is where the fucking bullshit happens, man. They done killed my nigga Gajeel, yo. And that's why with a heavy heart, I can't even say it. I gotta give my nigga Gajeel his first loss. So throw one up on that board for them other niggas, man. This some bullshit. Yeah. Huh? You lying. Hallelujah. I knew they couldn't get a real nigga up out of there.
Where the hell am I? I thought I got slimed out. Huh? Where the hell am I?
Damn, nigga, you rude as hell. You actually didn't learn how to respect your damn elders.
Okay. That still doesn't change my question. Where am I? Am I dead?
No, you dumbass nigga. Your little dumbass got saved last minute.
So you're telling me I love you, bae, and I'll never stop loving you, girl. So you're telling me I did that sim shit for no reason? Man, this is some bullshit.
So as you can see, with the power of plot, my nigga Gajeel survived. And yes, I'm counting that as a win, cause I don't see that nigga Bloodman nowhere, but I know where that nigga Gajeel at, so it's a technical W. So throw one more up on that board for my nigga. And as you can see from all those fights, I was right again, and my streak isn't going anywhere no time soon. So like I said at the beginning of the video, Gajeel Red Fox is the greatest Fairy Tail member of all time, and I'm not glazing either. But I'm gonna end the video here. Damn, it's been a while since I said that. But I'm gonna keep this short. I know I ain't uploading in like a little minute, but that was my own fault. I'm gonna try to be better this time. But if you're missing a little bit more Astro, you can follow the TikTok, because I'm a little more consistent on there, and I do hella more voiceovers over there. So with all that self-promo out the way, next video will be a random anime Friday. So get excited for that. And if y'all have any suggestions, put them down below. And with all that being said, I love y'all, and I'll see y'all when I see y'all.
Now I need you to open your mouth and say, There you go. Such a good boy. I'm so happy you're letting me feed you now.